This week on Dude Stuff.
What is going on, guys? Steve from Do Stuff, and I've been scouring Marketplace for a new project for the channel. Fancy doing something a little bit different, and I've come across this.
Let me tell you something. 지금부터 내가 무슨 얘기 하든지. Let me like you do, hold me. 이거 듣는다면 단지 안 call me. 매일 순간 sweetly, 하루 종일 sparkling. 너의 눈빛에, babe. Dive in, dive in, dive in. 너는 마치 cake. 부드럽고 달콤하게 나의 여기, babe. 잠깐 거쳐 위. 사진 하나 찍.
So let me tell you all about this sick unfinished project that I've bought off Marketplace. So what we've got here is a Buggy which has had the chassis modified and fabricated, and you've got a Kawasaki 600 Ninja engine which is 100 brake horsepower in there. Right, so I was scouring Marketplace. This was on there as a Kawasaki 600 Ninja Buggy, and immediately it kind of caught my attention. There was a video of it running, which currently it isn't. I'll get to that in a minute. But I've heard the engine run, and as much as I do electric stuff, I absolutely love the sound of some motorbike engines. So this has had the fabrication work done. I bought this off someone who does fabrication, and due to relocating, he's selling off some of his unfinished projects. This was priced really reasonably. I think it was about £1,200. I'm pretty certain I got it for about £1,000, which I think's pretty cool. There's been a lot of work done already, but there's still a lot to do. So the frame's been chopped at the back, and all the fabrication's been done, and the engine is in place. There is currently no clutch, no brakes, no accelerator, no wiring loom, no battery, and there's quite a few issues which I've got to sort out on it. Today we're going to be running through what I've been doing for the last week and hopefully firing it up for the first time. So for the past week I've been trying to establish the connections on this mess of a wiring loom to get this thing running. At first I connected about 4 things up thinking that was enough to get it running. I was way wrong. There are a lot of connections which, like I said, it's taken me probably a week or more to figure this wiring loom out. I'm going to quickly show you now all the connections you need to make this thing fire up and run. Fan switch, starter motor to relay, oil light, neutral gear wire, earth wire, stator, main battery positive, coil pack 2 and 3, coil pack 1 and 4, electronic fan, oil light, spark plug pickup, some random earth, ignition wires. I'm not actually sure if that covers everything because it is such a mess. As you can see in there, it's just a tight jumble mess of cables, but I'm pretty certain that's everything we need to connect. So I didn't want to bore you guys with all of this headache of cabling because it is just too much. But the idea is today we get this thing fired up and confirm this is running before we start on this project. The Buggy didn't come with a battery of any kind, so I bought off of eBay a brand new battery that's supposed to be for a Kawasaki Ninja. So all we need to do is connect the main positive and 2 earths down here to the battery, and this thing hopefully should fire up. The ignition is a bit of a mess. I look like Sid from Ice Age. Obviously at some point I've got to install this properly soon, including the ignition. I can't really use this massive triple clamp fork thing on the dashboard, it's too big, and the ignition on it is absolutely mullered. Also, whilst I was waiting to start filming this and figure this out, I bought off of eBay, I've not even opened this to look yet, brand new ignition which should be, we'll try now actually, see if it works. Yeah, that looks about right, doesn't it? Red, red, brown, brown, grey. Looks right. Let's try unplugging this. Oh my god. There we go. Right, so we're going to be replacing this with this. So we've got something a little bit smaller to install once we make a dashboard and get it running. So that's just the centre section out of there, so hopefully we can throw that all away, but I'll keep it for the minute just in case. And give us ignition for the first time. We've got a nice simple on-off switch and a key now, which can be mounted somewhere in the Buggy at a later point. So I'll keep this off. We're going to connect the battery now and then see if the clocks light up and it turns on. Let's go. Negative's already connected up. I just need to join this black and yellow earth. I'm just going to shove that in there for the moment. I'll make a proper connection for that later. And if I can just force that inside there, that's temporary earth, that'll do. Right, moment of truth. We're going to try to turn the ignition on so we can get the clock to light up. Here we go, guys. Will we get ignition? Yeah! So we've got the neutral light as well, which was one of the wires we have wired up. Because I don't think it's going to start if it thinks it's in gear, so that's all good. The clocks are on. Now I've got all the controls from the motorbike, which later on might be useful for me if I'm wiring up lights to this thing and extra bits. Right, so nothing is wired up. We've got no like throttle, as I said, no brakes, no clutch, no nothing. The choke is just on this side of the engine at the moment on a little cable, so I can pull that when I start in a moment. The throttle is somewhere over there. There's the throttle. If it works, it works. You ready? Right, just warn you now, guys, if it starts it might be noisy. If you see the size of the exhaust on this thing, you'll understand why. Right, so this buggy has been sat for a number of months. It has, you know, it probably needs a good clearing out. The fuel's old. I don't know whether it needs a tune or if there's any kind of pipes missing or anything, so it might be a bit rough and it's going to take a little bit of time to warm up, but let's just see if she'll fire up. We ready? We've got the start button on the motorbike handlebar switch and I've got the choke in this hand. Let's go. Ticking over now. Definitely running a bit lumpy, but it sounds good. So the rear of this, like I said, has been chopped and extended to incorporate the 600cc engine out of this huge box tubing, and they're painted up the rear half black. So my first jobs I'm going to be doing coming up in the next video is going to be the front half of this is in this blue colour. I'm just going to hammerite paint it black so it's just fully blacked out, and then going to start trying to install at least the engine side of the wiring loom permanently, so we can start beginning, you know, work on all the rest of the bits. There's a hell of a lot to do on this, and I've noticed quite a few like niggly issues that are going to need sorting. Like for example, like the rear axle, for example, I think this whole chassis section moves and floats on the axle and bolts back down, so that all needs to be shifted over. I feel like the axle's moved that way a little bit. If you look in here, the bolt from the suspension strut is touching the tyre. I can move this whole section over so the axle comes over this way, but also what I'm thinking of doing, I'm going to have to fit road legal tyres at some point. I'm not sure if that'll change much. I was thinking of getting a small wheel spacer to bring the wheel out maybe a little bit by a few mil, and flipping this bolt round so the bolt heads on this side and the fat and nut and stud come out that side. Obviously not only that, I am going to probably have to, you know, square the axle up. It's a little bit off centre, which also causes an issue I think this side. Where is it? Oh yeah. So by bringing it over, this bolt head is currently hitting on the subframe or the frame. So if I try and bounce on it, it just... So when you bounce up and down on the suspension, you've got the bottom of this hitting on the frame. Good news is it looks like they've already put a chain and sprocket on the back, which is something I don't have to worry about doing. It's got the fan, the electric fan all wired up, so there are some good parts to it. This is going to be quite a big project for me because it's completely unlike anything I've done before. I'm going to have to do gear linkages between the motorbike gearbox. I'm going to have to hook up clutch, brakes and accelerator. The brake needs a master cylinder, everything run through it. There's no brakes on the front on this buggy at all. It's only got 2 discs on the rear axle, and they are the front brakes off a Kawasaki Ninja because it's got twin discs and calipers. So the discs are already on the axle. The calipers need mounting up, need to run all the brake lines, the master cylinder, the lot up to the front brake pedal. The accelerator obviously is going to need running down to the front and extending. Going to get some kind of pole in the front. It's going to look like a hydro handbrake. Probably going to use a bar for the gears about the same diameter as a motorbike handlebar, because that way I can put the clutch lever from a bike on the stick and do the gears and clutch with either the left or right hand. There's a lot to do, and setting my goals quite high with this one. We're well into halfway through the summer and I want to get this thing road legal before the weather turns too crap here in England. So hopefully you guys are going to subscribe and follow the notifications on this one. It should be quite a fun project, and there's a lot of work, but I cannot wait to get this thing fired up and on the road. Let me know in the comments if you've got any idea why the engine's running crap. I suspect it could be anything from old bad fuel. Maybe it's just been sitting for a long time. Maybe it's not firing on all cylinders. I'm not 100% sure. It's a little bit rough, but maybe it just needs some fresh fuel, fresh plugs, and you know, a good run up the road once we get it connected up. Anyway, that's it for this video today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in a video soon. Take it easy.